Happy Truth Friday. We are going to be talking about the layers of the heart. Regina Ann, I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I never know what's going to happen on Fridays, and I love it. And this is where I work in these pillars. I call them freedom, safety, and healing. And down those pillars are all these words, like spots and places that you need to get to before you feel, like truly feel the freedom in life, feeling safe in life, feel like you're healing. Like those are like really hard things to get to. And the one I'm going to focus in on, good morning, the one I'm going to focus in on is the safety part. Safety part, when I look at it, I start looking at the heart and knowing that even to get into the heart becomes a very complicated thing. So how do we get there? I've been doing this process for a while, and I see these layers to really step into it. The first step that I see, well, actually, let me take a step back. Take a deep breath in. My name is Rhonda Liebig. I'm the creator and host of the Fresh Inspiration Show. 2023, we're going to create fresh talks. I'm so excited. I've been doing this for 5, going on 6 years, so I'm really excited. Every Friday, we do these Truth Fridays or Fab Fridays, and I love it because my assistant gives me a challenge. And I want to say I really appreciate this because I do not know what's going to happen when she posts it out there. Heart is a really challenging one, and it's one that when I first started getting into that heart and opening myself up, I used to cry a lot because it just felt so vulnerable. So this is how I see it. Come on, add your comments. Anything about how you feel about this area, because it's very complicated. The first layer is if we can get to understand that we have fear, like, oh my gosh, I have this fear or this uncomfortable space. And instead of stopping that fear and going and numbing yourself, with food or social media or whatever, that you actually give yourself time to get to the other side of that fear, of that feeling. So I believe we need that raw space. So the first step is giving yourself the opportunity to go on that other side and really feel it. That's that growth space. That's where you get the biggest nuggets about learning how uncomfortable it is to be raw. But then when you do it so many times, how spectacular it feels, because you feel like you just ran a marathon. So first layer into getting to the heart, doesn't that just feel right? I want to hear what you have to say about this. Feeling raw and getting used to that. I know for me, every day I want to feel that feeling, and sometimes it cripples me. But I want to feel that feeling because I know that I'm moving forward. I want to be feeling like I'm quantum leaping every day. And I know that is something that sounds so big, but if I can move things forward at a quicker pace, I want to do that. That's one of my biggest things and what I love to coach on. Empathy. Once you get into that other side of the emotion, then you start feeling the empathy. Good morning. The empathy for yourself first. It truly is that you want to feel you, like the empathy that you have for you, the stuff that you're battling with, or the stuff you're not letting go. You start hearing these vocals on you're not good enough or these things, but you start feeling yourself in the empathy space. When you can do that, you can feel it, then you can be with others and really feel it, be there present with them. When you start doing that, you're getting deeper into the heart, you're really scrubbing the heart and protecting you by really getting to know yourself and knowing your triggers. The next step is for you to be able to say, I love you, to you. And when you get into that I love you, then that I love you gets deeper into the heart. These layers are so raw to be able to get there. And then when you start being able to hear yourself say, I love you, or thank you for being there for me. That's when the authenticity, that's the next layer before we get right into the heart. If you can be you on social media, when you're posting, Put some of the raw stuff out there. Put some of the incredible stuff that's going on in your life. Not just the perfect stuff, because the perfect stuff is when we try and protect ourselves. We want everything to look perfect. And if we do that, that means that we have our protector on and we're not giving ourselves opportunity to be authentic and to really get into the heart, because the next layer really is the heart. And then from there is actually the top pillar, which is safety. So you feel that flow, it starts bubbling up more and more, but each step is hard, but then it gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and you can live in that depth. And when you live in that depth, for the speakers that are in our community, hashtag speaker locking arms. You're out there and you're transforming in the world that only you can. You start having your own cadence. You have the way that you move. You have the way that you speak, and it's you. You don't try and calculate it or figure out how to do it, but you just do it. You are being. So to go over that and wrap up those layers, and tell me, did I grab these, did I nail it, or are there things that you want to add in? Give me some ideas of what you feel. We started off to get into the raw, get to the other side of the emotion. You start learning about yourself. The other word was empathy. You're moving up, getting closer to the heart. Then you're learning to say, I love you. And then you're opening yourself up to be authentic. Everywhere you go, you just exude it because you don't know how else to live. Then comes the heart. The heart opens up and you go, gosh, and you just love on everybody. And there's people that won't like you, but that's their story. So what do you do with that? You don't close your heart off. You can if you want, because we have different definitions of what opening the heart is. I always lean in and get curious when I find that people aren't real appreciative of what I do, but we're in the same space. You know, just a nice dear hello instead of a snub. That keeps the heart open. That's a hard one. And then when you do that, all of a sudden you feel safe in your space because you're grounding yourself in what's important to you. Happy Truth Friday. I hope I nailed it for you. If not, tell me what I nailed. Tell me what you talk about when you talk about the heart. Tell me what's on your mind. This is an incredible weekend as we get to celebrate in this hemisphere Thanksgiving. But if you're in Australia or you're like in different parts of the world, it's just another day. So I appreciate and love you so much. This is Rhonda Liebig, creator, host of the Fresh Inspiration Show. And in 2023, we're going to start Fresh Talks. I can't wait to share that with you. We'll launch it in a couple weeks. Love you. Namaste.